Tabitha, as part of Page Park Center of Modeling and Acting, it is the largest modeling and acting training facility in the Southwest. Now, unfortunately, almost every parent thinks their child is a natural. That's not always the case, is it?
No, not every child is a natural, but especially in the industry these days, if you have a great personality and a great work ethic, you can really go far.
I remember the stories of, I know, Paige early on with people like Angelina Jolie, who we certainly know is accomplished, Shamar Moore, certainly accomplished.
1,000 sit-ups?
Sometimes twice a day.
Why?
It's all about a strong, sexy core, you know what I'm saying?
They didn't walk in the door that way.
No, they didn't walk in the door that way. There's a lot of training and a lot of grooming and a lot of things that you have to go through, haircuts, classes, learning how to walk in stilettos and heels. So there's a lot of things to go from being found and scouted to being someone that's a superstar like Katie.
Yeah. All right. So Tabitha, you started in the business how?
I started in the business when I was 12. Actually, I didn't make cheerleader. I don't know if you know this, but I didn't make cheerleader when I was 12 years old. So my dad said, well, why don't you just try modeling? So my best friend sent in a picture to Page Parks, and they called me the next day, and I came in, and actually I took our modeling program. And then after that, I got signed by Page Parks, which is the agency, Page Parks, Texas. And then at 14, I started traveling around the world modeling.
Today, you help scout people as well. And Katie, you were just minding your own business at church, and what happened?
Someone approached me and said, hey, you're really tall. and they suggested that I look into modeling. And so I did. And the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history. Tell us about some of the things that you've already gotten to do.
A lot. I'm so grateful. So I attended Agent Review back in 2015, and I was signed in New York and Paris. So after high school, I went to Paris for 3.5 months, and I walked in couture shows. My first season walking New York Fashion Week, I opened for Alexander Wang. He chopped my hair off to this crazy red bob with bangs, and it was crazy. It was quite the transformation.
What you touch on is that modeling is about so much more than just being pretty and tall for runway. There are things that you have to be willing to do, right?
Absolutely.
And I remember you called me and you were in the chair, and she was like, they want to cut my hair off and dye it like burnt orange red. What should I do? And when I met with Katie in the beginning of her career, you said your goal was what?
To open Alexander Wang.
To open Alexander Wang. I said, you're in his chair, cut your hair.
Yeah. And part of what you just said is what it means to be an agent. We'll get more into that in just a second. But when it comes to agent review, take us through what that process is, because you all do it in a way that really gives your clients the best opportunity to connect with somebody who's hiring.
Paige and I bring in agents, managers, clients from all around the U.S. to scout just Page Parks talent. So you either have to have gone through our classes or be a part of the agency. And you go, and the modeling people walk the runway, the acting people do a 60-second monologue, and then that is on one day. And on the next day, they will give you a callback, if you will, if they're interested in seeing you in person, ask you a couple of questions. And the main goal is to get an agency in another city that Page Parks isn't in. So ultimately, we become sort of like your mother agency, and we guide your career. So we don't have Page Parks in New York, but we have tons of people that we work with. So after Agent Review, Katie went, she got tons of response, sat down, we had a meeting with you and me and your mom, and then we decided which one that we thought was going to be best for her, and we placed her there, and then from there, she got placed all around the world.
Yeah. With that said, there are advantages to being with an agency as opposed to just, attending some big wide open casting call. And Katie,
Correct.
For you, explain to people, because I know there are people who go, well, I just want to spend my time doing my own thing or whatever, but what an agency can do for you in your career.
An agency is really key, in my opinion. I think they can push you to clients that you may not be able to reach yourself. And I've gotten to work with people and clients and photographers and designers that I would never dreamed that I could have if it was not for the connections that an agency can give you.
And Tabitha, again, what an agency does, we're not pouring your coffee and getting your tea. You're making sure that the business part of it, which is what you know so well, is taken care of.
We make sure that the people that we represent especially at Page Parks, work with the right people, the people that pay their bills, the people that are kind, people that can get you to the next level of your career. And we work with people all over the US. So we're very fortunate to be known in Texas, but we're also known around the world. And that's helped catapult different people, especially coming to Agent Review. And from Agent Review, Katie got placed with people, like she said, in Paris and Milan and London. And she literally traveled around the world and did the runway circuit after that first event that she did.
Yeah. A lot of people would love to be a Katie. And because of that, unfortunately, one thing that's made us all a Katie is our own phones, right? And social media.
Right.
There's a big difference between that. By the way, be careful what you put on your social media if you're looking to be hired by a big company. But with that said, let's go through some of the red flags in terms of getting an agent. I find so many people who say, well, I gave this agent all this money and they promised us that we did this and now they're nowhere to be found. You got to be careful with that.
Right. So an agency shouldn't really require you to do anything other than the marketing materials that you need, your portfolio, your comp cards, your headshots, et cetera. However, an agency is not going to take a chance on you if you are not prepared.
Be careful when someone says, oh, I guarantee you.
No, there is no guarantees. I can't even guarantee her anything today, and she's done every campaign under the sun.
Yeah, and then the other thing that people have to be so aware of is, I'd love to meet with you. How about you come over to my house? Or how about I meet you at this random place somewhere? Be careful with that.
Right, and you don't do that, do you? No.
No. Which is a good thing about having an agency. You meet at an agency, right? Or at an office or at a place where there's great oversight and the whole bit. All right. Katie, your best advice for somebody who thinks, I really want to do this as a career?
Know who you are and be yourself. I think I've had the longevity that I've had in this career because I've just been 100% myself.
Thank you very much for some insight here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.